Hi guys, I see you jumping on. You can say hi in the comments. Okay, I'm back. That's the fun part of working from home when you're doing everything by yourself. You have technical issues. Okay, so who else is on here? Come and say hi. I hope you're excited for today's show. I am. I'm so excited. We're going to have a wonderful discussion today. I'm just going to wait for a few more of you to jump on. Who else is going to say hi to me? I think everyone's shy today. I've received a lot of emails from you guys, and I'm very grateful for them. I haven't had a chance to reply to everybody, but I will be. So please bear with me if you've emailed me and you're waiting to hear back. If you want to know the email address to contact me, it's kaurvoices@gmail.com. And you can send me questions, suggestions. If you want to be on the show, if you've got topic ideas, that's where you want to send an email to me. And we will take your topics and your suggestions into consideration. And I think that we are pretty much ready to start. So, welcome to Kaur Voices. Thank you for being in this space with us week in, week out, to talk about things that are necessary, important, sometimes uncomfortable, but things that we need to bring out into the open, take away the taboos, and maybe understand and educate ourselves about a little bit more. Today's topic, which I'll get to in just a moment, is something that I'm particularly interested in. It's something that's coming up around us a lot, the relationship between Sikhi and yoga. And I know that for a lot of people, that can be a little bit of a touchy subject because we don't think that the two are related. So we're going to learn more about that today, hopefully get some new information, do some unlearning, and probably feel a little bit uncomfortable. Sorry, I didn't put my phone on silent. Okay, to introduce our wonderful guest today, and I'm absolutely honored to make this introduction and to have such an amazing guest on the show today. There are many words that can ascribe Professor Surinder Singh, the yogi of sound, such as music therapist, musician, researcher, academic, and master of musicology. The list can go on to describe the caliber of Professor Surinder Singh. He is a world-renowned musician who has devoted his life to preserving, reviving, and educating individuals in the art of sound therapy and spreading the legacy of his master, Guru Nanak. In 1994, he founded the Raj Academy, an international premier non-profit institution dedicated to the education and training of sound therapy. Along with educating and heading the premier educational institution in sound therapy, Yogi Professor Surinder Singh is also a master of Nad Yoga, which is the ancient Indian art of sound and the psyche. He revels in connecting the gap between the mind, body, and soul. Other highlights to add to Yogi Professor Surinder Singh's impeccable resume are that he is a composer, a film director, and a writer. As a revivalist of the lost Sikh musical instruments, his personal philosophy is that whatever is not shared is lost. Yogi Professor Surinder Singh is also my teacher, my Vidya Guru for Sikh music, Nad Yoga, and Sikh music therapy. This is something that I've devoted my life to because I had such a great inspirational role model, and it is an absolute honor and delight for me to have my wonderful teacher, Yogi Professor Surinder Singh, on the show. Welcome, Yogi ji.
Thank you, Jasvir, for having me on your show. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki
Waheguru Ka
Fateh.
Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I'm really, really excited for today's conversation. There's a lot of things going on with the climate, with just many things around us that are making me more curious. And a lot of the questions that I've received in emails are leaning towards that direction as well, is trying to understand more about this connection of Sikhi and yoga, because we've got different pockets. There are some people within the Punjabi community who are completely opposed to yoga, and they do not believe that Sikhi and yoga go together. And then there's another few branches of Sikhs and Punjabis who practice yoga, different forms, various different types of yoga that exist out there. And they connect that way. They may not have such a deep historical background of Sikhi, but I don't think that there's much clarity out there for us to understand actually historically, or just from a neutral point of view, what is the connection between Sikhi and yoga? So that's going to be our topic today. And I have a ton of questions for you, like tons and tons. I hope that we have enough time. But my first question is that, in your opinion, why is there this almost like, why is there yoga phobia in the Punjabi and Sikh community?
I think it is a lack of education amongst the Sikhs from Punjab, and that and history played its role. Colonization of India, and before that British occupied India under the Mughal emperors, how yoga was seen because of it got hijacked by religion, especially majority of them were Hindus, and everybody was after power and numbers.
Mhm.
And so when you are associating something so beautiful, um, and of course then practices, cultures, rituals, and other things will change its reality. So if we look into basically the purpose and the process, if we look closely into what is the Sikhi, and according to Guru Nanak Sahib, Sikhi, Sikhya, Gur Vichar. My source is Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Whatever I'm just about to share with you today, with all of you, is backed up by, it is not my viewpoint. I'm not here to uh, express what is right according to me. I think in this space, for the humanitarians who want to serve humanity, it is important for them to look into what is the source. You know, everything, all of these things I'm about to say are written and survived 500 years. Guru's Bani, Guru Nanak's wisdom and his blessing in Ragasa, the Varasa, which was a part of the Sikh sadhana, Sikh Nitnem. In his this writing of his, he writes about Sikhi, What is Sikhi? He says, Sikhya Guru Vichar. What is the Guru's viewpoint? And if we zoom in a little bit more, what is Guru? Guru is who gives us a Gur. Where this word comes from? Before Guru Nanak Sahib, the Guru and Nath is related to the yogic side.
Okay.
And what is a yoga? You know, we will talk after what is the yoga according to Guru Nanak Sahib, Guru Amar Das Maharaj, Guru Arjan Sahib, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, according to Sri Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj. um, our practices are different. The practices from the schools, all these Naths, all of these masters, the 12 schools of yoga, their practices are different, were different, and Guru mentioned those. But the word yoga, which is a Sanskrit word, it originates thousands and thousands and thousands years ago, Vedic time. The word from the Sanskrit, yog, not yoga. Yog mean when you become capable, when you are able to enable yourself to create a perfection, a mastery within you. When you can put your thoughts, focus, body in a one line and become something. For me, in a modern day analogy, will be you can drive car. So you are looking through the front screen, you are looking through the back mirror, you side mirrors, you holding on to steering wheel, you shifting the gears, you are trying to control the time when you crossing the road or overtaking, bypassing things. There's so much. But to get from one point to another point, when you are using this machine, your capability, your skills of drivery is what yoga is. That's what yoga means, that you become capable, you become able to create this amazing outcome. You bring the solution. So hailing from Sanskrit, it comes to even in modern days. And when we're looking into um, the guru, the word like where I started this from, Sikhi, Sikhya, Gur, Vichar. It's written by Guru Nanak Sahib in Varasa. I mean, learning from the guru's viewpoint. How did the gurus found the solution? The seeker, one who is looking for that solution.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Sikhi is. And in the yogic process, what is a yoga? Going to Nath or Guru and becoming a chela for what? The chela is looking for solution, looking for answers. So the quest is not a different, but when it got hijacked by religions and cultures and creeds and money, it was going to be corrupted.
So, where does this translation of yoga come from? Because in the West, what I've heard is that yoga it means union, and what you've just shared with us, it means something else. It means to be capable. So, why is there a different definition?
See, there's a lot of words cannot be translated in a language like English. The language like English is a limited language. We have 26 alphabets, where Gurumukhi is giving 35 sounds like Rada, Rana, Anga. They don't exist in English. And same way, some words, there is a kind of a viewpoint. They've been adopted. I will say union is okay. Okay, let me say, let me accept this word union. But yoga is when you become able to create that union between your physical body, your mental body, your spiritual body, and Kartapuruk.
Okay.
Then you become yoga. That's the union, that oneness. And Guru Nanak Sahib says, Ik Oankar, that oneness. And that's the seed where the whole of this ideology of Guru Sahib, Guru Nanak Sahib, and Guru Gobind Singh, and Guru Granth Sahib, all of this ideology is standing upon the oneness. So the union, okay, let me say we accept that yoga is a union, but what makes a union? What creates the union? Something is missing, it's not complete. Either you are yoga, either you are not. Either you are unable to do something, either you are not. And when we were not, gurus gave us the gur, the technique for us to become able. And that mechanism, that schooling, that knowledge, that training was known as a yoga.
Okay. And in Punjabi, that sounds very similar to the word jog.
Yes. Guru Nanak Sahib's favorite word is a jog. It is regional, it's a dialect, it is a adaptation of North to the word of yog, to jog. As Guru is trying to create it's a putting in inverted comma in a way, it is a highlighting a situation that he's talking about something which people already know. And because they already know, so they bring the culture in. They bring, it's a religion, they drag all of those other things with it. So Guru want to create a separation. So because he is all about Gurumukhi, so he create a different sound to get people's attention, to wake people up. So to yog, he will say jog.
Okay. So yog and jog are essentially the same word. They mean
Same
the
thing.
same thing. And are both of these words found in Gurbani, in Guru Granth Sahib?
Yes.
Okay. So where does the word yoga come from? If the actual word is yog.
I will say it is again um, lack of education. I will say um, there is a culture. We were in under the rules of British for nearly 200 years. India was, Punjab was for 90 years.
Hmm.
And they wanted to not just change things, they wanted to understand things according to their understanding and then create a new things. So when they could not pronounce like mantra, word is, there's no such thing called mantra. There's
Hmm.
no such word exist called tantra or yantra. These are all disability of a language that West have kind of tried to impose, because I don't see that they were lazy. They just wanted to create the corruption. So mantra became mantra. But I feel a little bit sorry for those who are truly seeking, who really can get benefit from this. It was not about the West or East. It was not by Hindus or Muslims. This program was built for humanity. It is as relevant for Africa that it is in for Canada. It is as relevant for India. But the program, when one tried to hijack the idea and sell it, let me share with you, the British, they were trying to lease Darbar Sahib. They were trying to do everything. So they were those people who brought people like Ernest Trump to create the division, not just at one angle, distorting, um, and, giving their own viewpoint.
Can you
Their,
just go back for a second? I'm sorry. Did you say that they tried to lease Darbar Sahib, the Golden Temple?
uh, of course, they wanted to sell that place and give it a lease. It was a profit making, it still is a profit making institution. So they wanted to lease it. So
That's crazy.
these things are available.
Oh my
But to see what we say, ignorance is a bliss, right? Because we're not looking into it. We just want everything takeaway. We just like, okay, this is a yoga center. Let me go in. Everything is fine. Nothing is fine. There's a lot of nonsense, and nothing makes sense. And let me drop something here before we go into the nectar pool of Sikhi. You can go to um, the Google Guru and ask for, like, there is a goat yoga, beer yoga, weed yoga. All of this nonsense is available out there. Yoga. What is a yoga? And people don't even know the basic definition of it. And we in Punjabi, I have to say this in Punjabi, Anya cha kana raja. They said in amongst the blind people, the one who's a partially sighted becomes the ruler, and this is what's happening
Hmm.
in the world, beautiful world, of which can give a humanity a incredible spin. It can make this planet such a beautiful place, but um, there is a big problem, and that problem is education.
Right. I'm just I'm very surprised with some of the things that you said, because I also like to dabble in research, and there's some of the information that you've given me which is new, and I agree with you that often we navigate in spaces where everybody's got little pieces of information, and then we all try to piece it together our own way and make our own type of a picture. And I'm grateful to have you here, because I know that your research in Sikh history and Sikh music is vast, and in Gurbani as well. And that's why I'm grateful to have a better understanding and insight as to how this picture actually came to where it is now and how we relate to it. So you've helped us to understand a little bit about the background and the history of what yoga means and where the word comes from, and that there is reference to yoga, to yog. I'm gonna say yog. I'm not gonna say yoga anymore. Okay, there is reference to jog as well in Gurbani. Um, Can you help us to understand more what the relationship is between Sikhi and Yog?
Sikhi is when we go to Guru to become capable. So the Guru transforms us through the teaching, the Gur, the technique it gives. It's a Mool Mantra, Gur Mantra, it's a Jap, it's a Tap, it's a Sabd. Sabd Guru, Surt, Tun Chela. And when we follow, our focus follows the wisdom of Guru, and it's a sound. It is relatable. And when we seek that, when we look from the Guru, um, not just what we should do, but how we should learn to be a better people. And when you look into the, I need to take you a little bit back. When there was a time when Buddhist people were at the top, the entire India was Buddhist under the flag of Ashoka, the king, Ashok. And the yogis of India, who were actually the kingmakers. Ashok was made by Chanakya, who was a yogi. So the yogis from the opposition after Chanakya brought um, everything. They used full power to get the Buddhists out of India. They don't exist in India at all. And similar things, similar policies were going on even at the Mughal times, and when the British were there, even in nowadays. Yogis were learned people, capable. They had capacity from treating people to the psyche of the people. They were the lawmakers. They were very well respected people. They were actually humanitarians, kind hearted people. But
Mhm.
when they got involved in a politics, when they got tangled in the religions, when they started taking sides and not being fair um, in the schools, problems started coming in. Problems. Um, there were clashes between Shiv Mat, and there were clashes with um, Gorakhnath. There was clashes amongst Aipanthis. So all of these problems were adding in, adding in that people will go when they get fed up and they or their heart is broken and they don't want to be associated, so they will go and have a diksha from or have become they become a chela of some yogi, Gorakhnath or somebody, and they will initiate them by putting a munda or a mundara through their ears, and they will leave. They will only come to the village to have some um, flour or some food. Otherwise, they will stay in jungles or forest or will go to mountains. Guru Nanak Ji, when he came in and he saw this shift happening, and he saw how these incredible people were able and capable to make sure the country and humanity thrive from it. And these people played no role in that. And he started bringing them back, linking them back into the system so they can actually help the humanity. But Guru Nanak's approach was a different approach from all these other 12 schools. Remember, like number three, school number three is called Aipanthi. We see that is the most popular school at the moment in the world of the yoga. The shakti is the key component, and even Guru Nanak Sahib talks about this school in a very first of his bani in Japji. Munda Sandok Saram Pat Choli Dhyan Ki Karhe Viput Khintha Kal Kuari Kaya Jugt Danda Pratit Ai Panthi
Sagu Jamati.
Sagal Jamati Man Jeetay Jagjeet Ades Tisay
Ade.
Ades Ad Anil Anad Anahat Jug Jug Eko Waste. Within this paragraph, there is a lot of secrets.
Right.
It talks about Guru Nanak being different from mainstream yoga of Aipanthi, and he want to create something Sagal Jamati. He want to use these beautiful things for humanity, not create a segregation or isolation that you are trained and you are high caste, you are Brahman, you are untouchable, you are separated, you're not no good for. He wanted to embrace everybody.
Can you help us understand what is Ai Panthi for those that don't know?
The Shiva's wife Parvati, and also known as a Shakti. There are a lot of names for her: Annapurna, Durga, Kali, Mahakali. There are very different names, but all of these powers into one form of which is called the Urja, the Shakti. Guru Arjan Sahib says, Siv Sakt Upaya Kino Ujara. Even Guru Nanak Sahib, Guru Arjan Sahib talks about this. Uh, that Creator created the two forms and then put it together. And Shakti is the power, the energy is one of that. And people who brought that into practice and where, for example, Kundalini Yoga
Mhm.
is coming in from Aipanti. They follow the path of Shakti. It is the yoga which you go to Ramayana, the Vishwamitra, who was the guru who taught Kundalini Yoga to Ramchandra and his brothers. So Kundalini Yoga goes back to like 5000 BC. That's Ramayana is an epic available. So and that is although it was supposed to be a tradition by the Shiva side tradition, because Shakti is associated with Shiva, but later on it got uh, kind of taken away from that by Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas, where like you will see, uh, Vaishnavas are vegetarian people. they are they don't like going into, like, they don't even want to have garlic. They will not even have onion.
Right.
They are very particular about the rules and how they will do things. Well, that's a separate thing. There is two uh, different paths going parallel, clashing, colliding, evolving, but going back into those things. Is one is a Shiv mat, one is a Vaishnav mat. But when Guru saw the corruption in both of them, at that time, Ipanthi was ruling everything. But there was so much corruption. There was so much division in community. There was so much poverty. There was unhumane stuff happening at the time of Guru Nanak Sahib. So he said, no, I will give a different sort of munda of santokh, mean that satisfaction inside. When you are, your thirst is quenched, santokh, munda santokh, saram. I will not let them go out in jungles. They will work. They will become kirti. They will work hard with their hands, and they will raise not just their family but the communities. The Guru's ideology here is separating from Ipanthi, who's a leader at the time, and making a new school is coming into formation called Sagal Jamati. And there, every other Shabad in Sri Guru Granth Sahib is related with this
And what does
whole
that?
ideology.
What does Sagal?
Related with Sagal Jamati is humanitarian, that everybody is equal, everybody is treating everybody equal. Hukm hai andar sabko. Baba Guru Nanak says his first rule is the hukm. Hukm rajai chalana. If Karta Purukh makes us all, if God created all of us, and it is we are the creation of the Creator, and Creator is in this creation, that why do we become so judgmental? And we create this horribleness. And Satguru educated people. Satguru, Guru Nanak Sahib educated people how to be one with the Karta Purukh and not to get tangled in these silly things. The corruption of religion, didn't he challenge? Kaji hoye risvati vadi leke hak gavahi. Ulti baad khet ko khai. When those who are supposed to protect the communities, they'll start abusing them, then there is a problem. And Satguru says that's not good. And he created revolution. He was the change. And he brought the old methods, the reality, the original thing, into a new perspective, the ancient traditions into the modern practices, what Guru Nanak Sahib did. And it took Gurus 239 years to create an amazing program for humanity, which we have now, Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Right.
Incredible science when it comes to your body. I will again say, Jasvir, that Satguru says, Suniye, Dukh Paap Ka Nas. Dukh is as a physical ailment, problems. And Paap is the ailment of the mind, it's a mental health issues. Both will disappear if you'll have these skills which Guru Nanak is giving you. So for us to become yog, for us to become capable, for us to have a oneness, what Guru Nanak Sahib did, he trained us. He took us out of becoming followers. He turned us into seekers, where other yoga or schools or corrupted methods, I have no problem with its original intentions. Well, I'm saying how they were delivered, what happened, this corruption created segregation, and Guru was against corruption.
And did any of the Sikh gurus practice yoga? Because that's not something that's talked about. And I think there's a lot of uncertainty around that information. So can you help us to clarify that?
Well, if you will read Gurbani, Jasvir Kaur, At the same time, I'm going to change my headphone also,
Mm-hmm.
because I think there is a limited power in these things. So just give me 1 second.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we look into, like, we rely a lot more on the Sakis written by people, and there is a viewpoint of people.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Okay. Um, okay. But when we don't look into the source is what? Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
Yes.
And in this source, I will answer your question. What Guru writes.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Shabad. You can look into Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Now we have even apps. Shabad is in Asa Asavari. It's one of the last Shabad of Karstarma and Guru Arjan Sahib's Shabad, where the very last line he says, Rajan Jog Karha, Ko Nanak Log Alogi Ri Sakhi. You know, uh, we look into the very last Shabad of Sri Guru Granth Sahib in after the Mandavani, the very last slok before Ragmala, Tera Kita
Chatona
Jato Nahi Meno Jog
Kito.
Kitohi. So, but that yog is a different. What, how Guru Nanak Sahib made Pai Lena Jog, that it became our Guru, Sri Guru Angad Sahib. Guru Nanak Ji were still physically amongst the people when Guru Angad Sahib was appointed as a Guru. That is the beauty. There is Nath, no Guru in yogic system will leave his chair or seat and hand it over to the next in line. But Guru Nanak Ji told us it was about Guru Chela. It was, you come, seek, and become that light which you came to. So Guru created that oneness. He didn't create it, okay, you are my six, you will just stay six for the rest of your life. I am the only Guru of you.
Hmm.
So if we look into Gurbani, there are so many. But again, what British did again, they brought the borrowed vision. It was a Christian viewpoint, and they only translated half of the thing. Like Ernest Trump, when I mentioned him, he entered India in 1950s and started working on thing a multilingual. He was trying to, see it from a religious angle and decode this so that West can understand. But actually, what he was trying to do was create an illusion, create a drift, and destroy this program and interrupt the education. So, and they managed to do that later on. After 1880s, we started having we started hearing these new words like Sikhism. Before it was Sikh and Guru, nothing else.
Right.
And then Sikhism started coming in, and there was a parallel power created, like a yoga in the West now. The yoga as it was practiced, it is a laughing stock. If you start comparing both of they're at all not compatible. They're not. You can't relate to them. So same thing happened between Sikh and uh, Sikhism. But you asked me a question: did Guru practiced yoga? Yes, Nanak's yoga, Sagal Jamati, every Guru did. Guru will not be Guru if Guru was not a yoga. You
Right.
know, we will not reach the Sikh, and between Guru, the only thing is happening is a jog. Guru is making us a joge,
100.
capable.
Right. So I think that a misconception based on the information that you've shared with us now, which is, I guess, unlearning that we need to be doing, is that yoga or yoga in the West, that how we know it now, is associated more with like physical movements, and like training your body to particular capabilities. And that's commonly, like if you say yoga, that word, to anybody, they would relate to it and they'd think of a yoga studio and people doing different postures, asanas and mudras, है ना? So asanas and mudras, right? Um,
No, mudra.
is it mudra?
Mm,
Can't
it's
even say
mudra. Yeah.
it.
See, Jasvir Kaurji, I agree with you what you're saying. But sometimes we just take one line and we create an issue. Like misconceptions comes from there is a sum. Like my teacher used to tell me, half the truth, dear, is more dangerous than a full lie. He
Right.
used to say this, and he used to ask me to repeat again and again. And I just very quickly want to share with you. Sometimes we just pick one line. And in the comments we will probably will sooner will have like people saying Jogi Jugat na jana and. That's it, just one line. But this is what British did. You know, the other people, other yogic schools were trying to do manipulate. They didn't. They took it out of context. Guru was saying actually, Kadi Kood Bol Malkhai, that the Qazis who were spiritual leaders, they were lying to people. Their thoughts were polluted. Brahman Nave Jiakai, the Brahman who was supposed to be educated one, who's supposed to protect, educate people and give them a better life, it was actually destroying the lives. It was abusing those people in humanity. Jogi Jugat na jane, one who were capable were not using their capacity.
Hmm.
And there was all everywhere there was it was a nightmare. It was horrible. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji in last line then he says, Tine ujade ka band. When a yogi, a learned, a educated person is going bad, corrupted like this, or a Brahman educated, or a Qazi who is educated, when they go sway away from their responsibility, of course it's going to destroy everything. But here, British wanted Sikhs to be weakened, and therefore Udasis, Nirmalas, Sahajtari, Sevapanti, and Nihangs. These were five arms of the incredible six set up by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Again, I repeat, Udasis, Nirmalas, Sahajtari, Sevapanti, and Nihangs.
Hmm.
And they created this hatred amongst these people that, well, Udasis have nothing to do with the Sikhi, and Nirmalas have nothing to do with the Sikhi. Well, Nihangs are drug addicts. Oh well, Sevapanthis, they are very separate thing. And we got divided, and they carried on ruling. So same thing they did with the Gurbani. They distorted. It was culturally not appropriate. You know what they did? They learned half the things, and they then started abusing it, and we are suffering from it.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that? Because you mentioned about Ernest Trump and you mentioned about the distortion of Gurbani. What do you mean by that?
I mean, one line, like now people will bring you who are against Jog. I have no idea why they are against. What do they understand about Jog? What is Jog? But they will bring one line from Sri Guru Granth Sahib to attack.
Right.
Like it's not even half the information. If you can read the full Shabad in a full context, Ernest Trump did the same thing. He tried to push Guru's Bani into Punjabi, and when he managed to do that, he pushed it into Punjabi. He culturified it. He brought it under a culture of Punjab, which
Hmm.
was different from Rajasthan, which was different from Maharashtra's culture, which was different from the culture from the West. So now he pushed a beautiful program into a culture, Punjabi culture, and then he separated words, he separated line per line. So And again, if there was one line, like for example, I shared it with you, that Guru Sahib was saying that, or these people will say, "Jogi jugt na jane." This is a Shabad by Guru Nanak Sahib in Tanasiri.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look into what Guru says in next paragraph, they will never read. Guru says, "So jogi jo jugat pachane." Yogi is only who knows the technique. That's what yogi is. That's Guru Sahib is saying. But these people will not bring that, because the one very powerful thing in this school, the Nanakian school, the Nanakji school, the Sikh had was nirvair. They loved everybody. They'll give their head for Muslims or Hindus or poor, whoever will come to them. Guru trained these people to give
Right.
everything. They'll open their heart and they will give their head.
Mm.
That's a powerful community. And if you can't control them, they'll destroy you. They have to be controlled. 110 years. Why you think the British stayed away from it? They were understanding it. All 40 years,
Mm-hmm.
the British Empire had their people, next to Ranjit Singh. Two people were there. What were they doing? Making notes. What were they doing? They were understanding it.
Right.
They were understanding, when we have a right opportunity, we will strike. And they struck that opportunity at the right time. But
Mm.
when they struck that opportunity, they didn't just capture a beautiful humanitarian community. They destroyed the hope for the future, and brought the destruction to humanity. It's not the Hindus of India or Muslims of India suffered. It's a whole humanity suffered from such an amazing gift of Guru Nanak.
Wow, that's a lot of information to take in. And again, lots of questions to come back to you just to explain, because many things that you've shared, I'm aware of because of my research and because I've studied with you as well. But for people who are new in this space, they may not understand fully what you mean. And to just clarify those points, you were talking about how when Ernest Trump came, the translation that was done of the Guru Granth Sahib was done in Punjabi. What language is the Guru Granth Sahib written in?
Not in Punjabi. It is what we call it Gurmukhi. What does Gurmukhi mean? The Guru, from the mouth of the Guru, the sound current. Guru knew Persian, Guru
Right.
knew Sanskrit, Guru knew Devanagari, Guru knew Pali, Guru knew uh, Braj, Guru knew Hindi, Guru knew other languages and dialects. Why didn't he use those? I did share this with you. I would like to also share with your viewers here that the word like Shabba Khair, this is ancient word from Islamic, or Shama, or Shama. These words exist. Sham, Sham Sundar, this is a word. But Satguru, Guru Nanak Sahib, or Guru Arjan Sahib, or Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj will not use that word. He will say Sam. There must be a reason behind. It is Gurumukhi. And of course, in Punjabi, May means Sham. But if it is a Sham, in English, we may say it's an evening. So
Mhm.
that means an evening is a right thing, right? Because we are from England. Guru used a language which was open for everybody, not like Sanskrit. What happened, Jasvir? Yogis took Sanskrit and they made it a sacred language only for the Brahman and yogis. There were times if you were learning Sanskrit and you were not from Brahman class, and you heard one slok accidentally, your ears will be filled with melted glass or metal.
What?
Yes. So that was like they wanted to protect. Yeah. So this is how horrible it was. Even now, just 3 4 weeks ago, in the middle India, one teenage girl went to a well of the high caste,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a little film available on the social media. she's getting beaten like she is uh, uh, not even an animal. We will have a much more mercy on animal. And this still exists. And Guru Nanak's work was against these corruptions, that your caste, your practices, this is insanity.
Yeah.
When a wife is burnt with the dead body of the husband, where was a humanitarian uh, act? You know, Guru Nanak was the one who raised his voice. It was Guru Amar Das who made sure there was no sati. There was it was not happening amongst the Sikhs. So I must clarify this. Sikhs were maybe not in a larger community in numbers, but they were very influential people. That Akbar, the emperor of India, will come and visit them at the Goindwal Sahib. Emperor Akbar of India will come. And before he even meet the Guru, he will have to sit in the Pangat and have a langar. An emperor comes and see Guru Amar Das. So influence of community was amazing. And this influential, able, educated community made sure in their surrounding there was no sati happening. They're creating baulis that the even lower caste or high caste can come and take the wealth, this basic commodity for humanity, the water. So there is no clash in community. So what we have to see what gurus did. Our guru does not hate anybody, neither yogi, neither Hindu, neither Brahman. Only thing he hates, or this is strong word, only thing he want us to change in our life by showing us that how he changed it in his life, that we must become an able, that no abuse have a place in our life. So that was Sikhi. That's the yoga of Nanak Guru. And he made us capable. We were nobody. And then we had Sikh kingdom. We are the only community who ruled even Afghanistan. So I'm not here to give a power parade. What I'm saying, what Guru Nanak taught was a threatening to the existing practices by the Jog, even the Aipanthis or Hatha Yoga. Like this word Hatha Yoga now is popular in West, Hatha Yoga. Ashtanga comes out of Hatha Yoga. We are from Guru's work is the Nahad. Guru's work is communication. Guru does not want you to go through the hardship of leaving your family. Why are you gonna have a family if you're gonna leave? Like Guru says, whatever God made you, accept that, respect that, be who you are. If you're born in a family and then your family and at that time you made you go married and then you had a kid and now it's your responsibility. Live in that responsibility, not because you don't have a bread and you run away, or go under a tree, tie up your hair, and sit there and call it that I am a sadhu. I'm going through this to have a nirvana. Guru Nanak doesn't believe in this. He says sagal jamati. So he says your jungle is your home. The art is that how you become nirlep. How do you become so pure and not influenced by these lows and highs of life? Sahaj, how to create Sahaj Jog Biban. That is Guru's work. So when he created those communities, a beautiful, remarkable teachers, Udasis we had Nirmalas who were natural paths. We had Seva Panthis who will go if somebody's house is broken, if there's a problem in communities, they will go out and help them. We had Seva Panthis who will, whenever the work is needed in communities, from education to shifting things, they will go help them there. Pardon me, Sahaj study like Baba Mardana. Hear me out, Jasvir Kaur. It started with Baba Mardana, shadow of Guru Nanak Sahib, right? Baba Mardana. Ik Baba Akal Roop, Duja
Rababan.
Rababi Mardana. Sahajtari started from there. Sahajtari is that who is already in a balance and who is free to practice his namaz in the presence of Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak is not Father. Guru Nanak is not here to convert you from your Catholic beliefs or your Hindu beliefs or your Islamic viewpoints. No, no, Guru is not interested in that. Guru Nanak was interested in your smile. Are you happy? You're a happy human. And he wanted you to be healthy. He believed if you're happy in mind, if your mental health is under your control, physical, spiritual health, no problem. But then other schools came in and they started bringing one thing, another thing, and created this illusion and brought this hatred. When the best way to rule somebody to create an kind of a doubt on things.
Mm-hmm.
So Jog, no, read Siddh Ghost. I read Siddh Ghost so many times. Siddh Ghost, what Guru Nanak's viewpoint is very clear. Where is he condemning? He's saying he's condemning the practice of those who became cowards. They were supposed to be the warriors. They were supposed to be out there in the world helping people. They became coward and they left, and Guru wanted them to go back. That where does it come problematic? Jog, like Jasvir Kaur, do you go to gym?
No.
Well, I
You want me to say
mean,
yes? I don't.
have you ever been to gym?
Yes, I have.
But what is the reason behind going to gym?
Um, to look after your physical health,
Why you want to do that?
because the body is a gift, and as being a Sikh, it's a responsibility to look after your physical well-being.
There is a word comes in Sri Guru Granth Sahib called Saas Giras. Living through the breath.
Hmm.
Yeah, if we go before Guru Nanak Sahib, it the same word will call prana.
Hmm.
Prana, when we learn about how to use this energy of air, the breath, and make sure it helps us in a meditation, the yam, it became a niyam, a rule, a discipline to particularly use this. And six, Saskiras it became a practice amongst us to breathe in particularly so that we are healthy people. If you don't know, Guru Angad Sahib had a special kind of, you can call it in modern uh, terminology, gyms, where the kasrat was introduced. Guru Amar Das writes about it, the purpose of ears and eyes and the tongue and the body. He questions that. I will say to my brothers and sisters and all these seekers and practitioners out there, if your head is hurting, you're not going to be able to do your sadhana, your nitnem. And Guru made sure your head was never hurting. Guru made sure your body was not suffering. And he took all of the nonsense and those practices which were manipulating you or corrupting you away and gave you an essence, a beautiful, beautiful practice through contemplation, through the nad, the sound, and made you capable. He called you Sikh. He made you a chela of Sabd Guru and the Twani of Sabd Guru.
Hmm. I'm absorbing everything that you're saying. This is incredible. I want to ask that you're just talking about Gasrat. So how would you translate Gasrat into English?
Kasrat is where you make sure that your body is working properly.
Right. So like
You,
physical workout.
even you going for a walk is a kasrat.
Right.
If
Exercise.
yoga is forbidden for those, my Punjabi brothers and sisters have a phobia of a word yoga because this phobia comes from hatred. Um, Hatred which was planted that we are not Hindus. We're not. Then who are we? Humans. Why we have to see ourselves? Hindus or not Hindus, or Muslim or not Muslims, why can't we see ourselves humans? Guru
Mm.
Sahib says, Manas ki jaat sab hai, ek hai pehchan bo. But
Mm.
we can't survive without surnames, right?
Right.
We can't.
Mhm.
And this like and we will attack. We'll attack with whatever we have, and especially we'll attack the gurus without studying guru. Research seeking is gone. Everybody want to tell what they know, and what they believe that this is the only right thing.
Okay, so I think that's a really nice unlearning point for us as the wider Punjabi and Sikh community, is that any of us that had aversions to an association with yoga because of the physical movements, we have to do our research and understand why we feel that way, and the information that we're being fed, where does it source back to, right?
Yes.
And that there is a place for physical strength, because I understand this from having the blessing and the pleasure of traveling with you around the world, Yogi ji. When we're sitting on stages for 2 hours to do a performance or to do kirtan or to teach, right? In that space, there's a particular requirement of the body, which is that you're not going to sit and lay down when there's an auditorium
Yes.
of people staring at you, right? So your body needs to be strong enough and capable enough to hold itself in that space, which means that you have to go through some form of physical body training, just like you would for your voice or for your mind, for any other skills that we have, like whatever our skills may be, from art to music to researching, being writers, whatever those skills are. There's a practice that requires us to get more proficient. And I think with our body, if we just step into a neutral space and step out of that aversion, that yoga phobia, right? That maybe we understand that we, in order to be Sant Sipahi warrior saints, we have to have strong bodies that are capable to allow us to do the work that we need to do, whether that's doing seva or looking after others. Would you agree with that?
Of course. And Guru Sahib says in what you're saying, Guru Sahib says, "Galli jog na hoi." It's mere words talking about it. It's you jog is a different things, and pointing toward the seekers that how. And of course, the phobias and all of these are mere words. It's
Hmm.
okay if you don't want to do kasrat. It's fine. I mean, if you just want to live on high fatty foods and this that, and you don't care about yourself, how are you going to care about your community? And if you're not going to care about yourself, you're not going to. It's irrelevant already. So one who is not careful about themselves, how one who is not can't make him or herself healthy, how can we expect that it will contribute a healthiness to community? So I agree with you. Yes.
So there are some traditions of yoga that claim that there are practices that come from the gurus and they practiced these particular types of yoga. Is that true?
No.
Okay.
There, Guru. Yes.
Your
I
answer.
just want to. It is, like for example, there are all those practices before Guru Sahib happened, or they have a very particular names associated. Like for example, I said Aipanti, and the all the practices uh, associated with, including Kundalini yoga, was the practice of Aipantis. But Guru changed a lot of things. The Guru's system, the yogic system, was completely different. So his the Gurmat Yoga, Yoga, which was uh, about Sahaj and Vivek Buddh, that Yoga, Gurmat Yoga, has it is not out there. The only thing Guru has been sharing with the world is a Gurmat Yoga, and through the sound current. And whatever is out there is a very, you will be horrified when I start giving you answers how horrible that world is.
Okay. Can you tell us what Gurmat Yoga is and how is that different to other types of yoga that exist?
Okay, yoga. There are different approaches. Yoga is where a guru makes you able. What guru does, it prepares you so that you can have an experience. Once you have an experience, then you will become a capable. Knowledge is mere knowledge. It's just a word. It's not going to take you anywhere.
Mm.
So there were ashtanga or aipanthi, the procedures, asana and hardship and controlling. For example, in a very first lesson by Guru Nanak Sahib, after the setting the Mool Mantra, mean the primary rules, he's setting a Bij Mantra saying Ik Onkar. It's all about oneness. Then he's going Satnam Karta Purukh Nirpau Nirvaira Kal Murt Ajuni Sabhang Gur Prasad, and it creates two lines, the full stop. That is the core of what he's going to talk about it. Then he brought this word called Jap. This is a solid yogic, ancient India is a yogic word, jap, mean contemplation. It says Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Happy Sach, Nanak Hosi Pi Sach. That I'm going to talk to you about the ultimate reality. Then he defines, I'm just going to talk about very first paragraph of Nanak's Jog. He says, Chupa chup na hovai, or socha soch na hovai, or pukhya pukh na utri. Then he raised the question, Kiv se tyara hui? Then how do I become like in Jog, before a time of Guru Nanak who asked you to not to eat or have these fasts or go to holy places and do these rituals and be a moni, don't speak for years to come, and you need to tame yourself like this. And Guru said, hey, come on. If Guru gave you the tongue and the ear, why are you denying the gift? And then question is that the people are afraid, then how will they purify them? And then Guru Nanak's yoga comes, Gurmat Yoga. Hukam Rajai Chalana Nanak Likhya Nal, the nature, the discipline, natural discipline, he brings it forward. Then he talks about it in a Japji. He makes sure that he's very clear. Munda Santok to Aharan Mataved Hatyar, by the just before the last parties, Guru Baba talks about it, about the Sachi Taksal, that where you are purified and where you are made a viable, a important piece, where from a coal you have been found as a jewel, you are made worth. And Guru does that. The other yoga, Jasvir, like for example, Hat Yoga. Hat Yoga will require you to have, there is a word called asana. Asana mean you have to be in a physical posture in a very strict way. To obtain that, you have to control it. It's like discipline created by these schools, which goes to very different extremes. When I was a child, we were learning about karates, and in the books they will say Bruce Lee used to heat up the pebbles and he will then punch in them. A lot of our children burnt their hands doing those things. Like it was like similar sort of thing. It was happening in a community of yogis. And so Guru Nanak Sahib brought another. He said, look, if you problem is not with your physical body, impurity is not in your physical body, ailment does not come from physical body, it comes from the mind. If you know how to win the heart of mind. So he introduced a jog, Gurmat Jog, Sahaj Jog. The program is a Kirtan, is a wisdom, Turki Bani. He gave that for us to be enabled, so we can build our psychological composition, so we can thrive in life. So his program was so beautiful, even a layman, It's simple. With 9 to 5 working in the fields or more, it was able to turn from nothing to a king and a princess. That beautiful program of Nanak, of course, it was a threatening program to those who were pushing their students through hardship. Have you ever seen a Chinese movie that, a teacher, how it breaks the very first thing, that student's ego? That comes from Hatjo. And Guru Nanak went from that to communication. He said, hey, there's an easier way to be there. I'm not saying that this way is wrong. He's not saying wrong or right. But he said, let me give you another option. So the Guru Nanak's Jog is through communication. Guru Nanak's Jog is connection through experience. Like first thing comes hukam, then comes gaviye, then suniye, then manne and amal. Those are 5 key points. Then he takes us end of the Japji to the khands, that from Gyan Khand to Saram, Taram Khand, Karam Khand, to reach to the Sach Khand, the reality of life. But if we're not going to study Nanak Ji that way, if we don't see, the problem is we do Japji in the showers. We do Japji while we're going to work in the car. We think, oh, we have to do Nitnem. It's better to, we don't even have a little bit focus to offer to be in a Sangat of Nanak Ji at the morning. We don't have that time. And outcome will be like, of course, then we are in this systematical, organized religion, which Nanak Ji doesn't like. The Nanak Ji is a different in a one way. He breaks these shackles of religion. Religion, I'm going to say in Punjabi, टुटिया होवे ते जोड़ी दा जे सब कुछ करता पर की है जे मन जोत स्वरूप माने फिर टुटिया किहदे नाल फिर जोड़ना की. So religion is a religion, right? It's one is a broken is connecting it. Guru says you can't be broken. You don't have that capacity. All you have a little fog. Hey, just remove that fog. And that fog is at the front of the mind. And Guru's approach was so amazing, And there was no restriction on diet, color, creed, clothes, cultures, nothing. He kept all of these things out. And of course, it became a problem for those who wanted to have numbers and followers.
Right. And I think that that's something that's relevant now for us as well, as a whole community. There's a lot of Punjabi and Sikh people who will be listening and watching who feel uncomfortable. And to all of you, to my brothers and sisters, what I say is look at what makes you feel uncomfortable and then try to understand and make that connection about what work we need to do, either to arm ourselves with knowledge and do more research that's outside of the box. There's just a few of the comments that I was looking at as they were coming in. And this is a typical response that I've heard from a lot of Punjabi Sikh people, that when you're talking, Yogi Ji, now about Guru Nanak's Sikhi, which was pre-colonization, it has a completely different frame and purpose to what we are now used to. And because we are only used to and only familiar with this institutionalized religion of Sikhism, it's hard for majority of people to make that connection, and everything that you're talking about challenges everything that they have been taught about Sikhism. So how do we bridge that gap?
I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's okay. My teacher used to say to me, if you want to fix the broken arm, you have to break it again. If the connection is being made, if nothing is broken, nothing can be fixed. Unless, Surinder Singh, you admit that you have lost, you will not find it. So, but problem is very difficult, Jasvir Kaur, to acknowledge that we are lost, that we labeled ourselves Sikhs. We inherited Sikhi, or we by force want to become Sikhs. We have turbans, we wear the bana, we are automatically makes us Sikh because we've got kada. It doesn't really matter we have hair or not. We've got the kada. We wear khanda in the neck. Therefore, we already Sikh. Everybody's so sensitive. Look, it's okay. I'm not a politician. I'm
mm,
not here to comfort you that way. My job is to share with you what I learned from teachers, very hard way. My words are just words. If you disagree with me, fine, it's okay. Then sit with Guru Nanak Sahib. If you disagree with Guru Nanak Sahib, that's fine too. But make sure you find one who agrees with you and you agree with that. So
mm,
search, you must seek, do the research. Bhai Lena ji didn't make Guru Nanak a guru in a one day. You know, there are so many Sakhis because we don't look into those Sakhis. It was Bhai Shiha who actually was like a laborer uh, that Lena ji followed before he became the disciple of Guru Nanak Sahib. You know, so it was not a one day thing that Guru Angad ji became our guru. The search must go on. Search must, our question to the gurus must happen on kind of in a way one on one. It is very very important. But you can disagree with me, but it's a fine. But if you agree with what Guru Sahib wrote, the Bani, um, it is we must uh, look into the Bani and put our phobia aside. Phobia is created by the words. Our community having a phobia because of Hindus overthrown the Buddhist out, and they're trying to do, or they did try to do the similar things to Sikhs. And as a society, we being afraid of that was one thing. But as a Sikh, if we learned, like I remember, Jasvir Kaur, that the people used to come to my home to tell my grandmother, like, your grandson is hanging around with the wrong people. And he used to say, I know what I taught him.
mm,
What he learned. He's a Sikh of Guru, so I'm not concerned about it. And I think that faith, that trust of her, and we need to enable that trust within us. We are the Sikhs of Sri Guru Granth Sahib.
mm,
So no tradition, no culture, no trend, no caste, no creed, no country can prison us. Guru gave us a freedom. But Guru gave a freedom to the Sikhs who seeked to have that free flight. So if you want to do that, then look into that freedom, not into the phobia. If you're going to go against the Guru, always we're going to lose the battle. Because Guru, 239 years of wisdom in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. Come on, man. It's not so easy and simple for us to read couple of books and then label, well, Sikhi is against Jog. Where does that written in Sri Guru Granth? And what do we understand about Sikhi? And
mm,
what have we seen in a Jog so not appropriate? Yes, every practice have its ups and downs. Um, Yogis misused things, religious kajis misused things, Brahmins misused things, and Guru said, Hak paraya nanaka, us suar, us gai. So the bad thing is a bad thing. But how will you know what is a bad thing? If you're going to close yourself and have this phobia, oh well, jog, no, 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 no. We think, you know, just standing, having a headstand is a jog. That's got nothing to do with it. That is not jog. That means you can't drive car. You are jogi. You are capable to go from one point to another much faster than a pedestrian can. That makes you yogi. That makes you capable to create that union between point A and B in a less of time. That is your siddhi.
mm,
So untrap yourself from the web of the words. As Babaji says to us, Galli, jog na hoi. The words are not the joke. And of course, there are the problems, those problems are um, being pushed into different areas. Like, see how Ayurveda has been pushed to side. There were so many good things. When our grandmother or nani or dadi or mother gives us turmeric in with the kyo and in dod, then it's okay. Otherwise, Ayurveda is a Hindu thing. Come on. Oh, red color? No, 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 no. That's a Hindu thing. So don't eat tomatoes. Green is a Muslim association. Then let go all the green vegetables. Hey, you know where we are going toward to what? And
Right.
Guru made us educationalists.
Hmm.
If your Sunniya is close, if you're like a Brahman who have this much knowledge and using it for manipulation, you want to become that Brahman, it's fine. If you're going to become a radical like that Qazi who sees no other human but some few, then it's okay. Look, you will go into exactly
Right.
same category that Guru Nanak Ji put you. We were few, Sikhs were always a few, just
Hmm.
few hundreds, but they were amazing. They were the beacons of hope. They were the lighthouse.
Hmm.
Uh, they were free people. The phobia is not going to let you breathe a full lungs of air. If you have a phobia from the lift, you're gonna get in, you're gonna start. It's you being
Right.
afraid of a word jog. Then don't go for a walk and don't have a healthy food. Being conscious, if that is anti-gurmat, then may I will say Karta Purkh bless you with what whoever given you that education. You should find the person and ask these questions again.
Right. I I'm very grateful for your perspective that you're sharing. I can't even speak now. There's so much information that's coming into my brain. Um, I've got a ton more things that I want to ask you because I think that we've only just kind of hit the tip of the iceberg. And um, if I were to ask you, what does the Guru Granth Sahib, what does Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji say about yoga, about yog? What would be the answer?
Become capable. If Guru is associating himself, just read one Shabad, the last slok by Guru Arjan Sahib. Tera kita jato nahi menno jog kitoi. What does that mean?
Can you
Just
translate that for us?
I think it's very important for the seekers. Look, we look for a quick interpretation and answers. It is important for us to read the whole Shabad in a context. The Guru Sahib wrote it. It's okay to read 4, 5, 10 Shabads before to find out the context. Read Guru Nanak Sahib's Bani. He very first chapter, first lesson he gives you, socha soch na ho gai. Are we doing that? We bathing, are we going to Sarovars and dip in and sip in, and we are like all of these things, all the rituals being brought back.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see these rings, you will see this numbers, astrology happening, you will see these pujas, a Akhand part, you will see 100 Sukhmanis part. What is happening? This is where Guru stopped you from. Guru says, like astrology, Jasvir Kaurji, astrology, for example, those corruptions, those people who used and misled the community, Guru went against them. And Guru called them out. He says, Tet var na jogi jana. One who's a jogi, a real Sikh, seeked and learned. It doesn't go into that. He doesn't care about it. But which day is a appropriate day? Is it shagan or is it bishagan? Is it sutak? Is it what is it? It's a bad day. Going to have a grahan. It's not a good opening, good timing. Titbar na jogi jane. Rut mah na koi. It doesn't care about which mihina it is. They're like Punjabis,
Mm-hmm.
Sikhs will say, oh, this is a song, we're not gonna do another card in this, is upshagan.
Yeah.
Guru Sahib says, Thitwar na jogi jane rotma na koi ja karta sir theek ho saje. Jine banaya hai duniya, who created this, only he knows. So don't try to become God. You know, it is your power against Karta Purukha, and that collision, it's an ego clash which is destroying this world. And Gurmat Yoga makes us humble and makes us a human.
But these distortions are happening from every angle, not just from one angle. So I I see in the Western hemisphere, like there's a lot of practitioners who, they teach astrology, they do astrological readings, they're wearing gemstones and they're doing all of this stuff. And then on the Indian front, we've got the same thing. You've got parents going to see the Punjabi Sikh parents going to see pundits to get their kundalis written out to see if it's going to be a good match and when's a good day to do the wedding, or something's going on in the family and they're going to see a peer or somebody to take away whatever curse has been put on them. And this is now very prominent. Like we're back into that cycle. So how did we get here if this is everything that Guru Nanak took us away from?
The British, what they when they pushed the culture and they made our actions go inappropriate, and it pushed it. It tried to mingle to distort things. When we say jog, now we started picking and choosing things like we are in a strawberry farm. I will say, like, it's a simple exercise this year. Tomorrow, if you go from one place to another place which you don't know how to get there, or even you know how to get there, put two navigations on. Put Google Maps on and put the Apple Maps on. You will be so confused which one to follow. You'll be annoyed. And this is what's happening. When you are following a different meter of astrology, which does not exist in Sikhs. If you are a Sikh, if you're talking about Gurmat, if you wanna become the yogi of from the angle of Guru Nanak Sahib, then hukam is the jewel. The natural discipline is the key, the golden key. Listening and expression and the faith you develop through experience, and when what you become after that, that is the key point. Not that this jewel going to do this in a different meters. Yes, in different schools. My teacher used to say to me, he understood that art, that Ravan invented, these planets and calculations and how it will impact the human mood, because we're 72% of water and influence of the changing of the moons and all of that. Ravan, 5000 BC, invented that art, but that's a completely different science. It's looking into different sector. But what we are looking here, a connection, a building a bridge between body, mind, soul, and Kartapurukh, creating oneness. Ek Onkar. If we are looking for that, then we need to use, you can't be in Oxford and at the same time be in Howard's. You're not gonna achieve anything. So you need to pick one path. Astrology, then become really good. I personally don't believe in that. I think nature evolves and nature kept its own secret. Katapruk is much incredible than the human mind can think. Also, the puja, when Hindus will say, those yogis or those Brahmins will say, okay, give me your cow. Even they knew you only thing you have in your life is your cow. I'll do this puja. You will have a child or you will have prosperity. They started abusing people.
Yeah.
And Guru Nanak stopped them. And
Right.
if we will go back now, instead of that puja, we will go for Akhand Path. We'll go do 10 Sukhmani Sab's Path or this mantra. That doesn't exist. Not in the Gurmat Jog. It
So
doesn't.
it shouldn't exist, but it does exist. And I speak from my own personal experience that I understand that all of these different techniques that we've talked about have a place in different traditions, but we're talking about Gurmat, we're talking about Sikhi, the path of Guru Nanak, right? And in that path, these things don't have a space, right?
We need to just record the before. Yes, it doesn't have a space, but unless we separate the Sikhi and Sikhism, we
Right.
will carry on
So I think there's a lot
with
more
this.
conversations that we have to kind of get into that Sikhi and Sikhism conversation. But I think from my own experience, I have been, what do I say? I don't want to say the victim of, but I have been on the receiving end of our Gurdwara systems operating in a similar, I'm going to call it a business model, as pundits would, where you have to pay them for particular services. And if you don't comply with those services and you don't adhere to that protocol, then basically they threaten you with pap, that you're gonna earn sin, you're gonna go to hell, right? And that what do I say? Implanting that fear in religion is not something that correlates with Gurmat for me. Yet I've experienced it much more than once, many times from Sikh Gurdwaras. So, what do we do with that?
Just record the one main thing, when we're talking about Gurmat, we're
Mhm.
talking about the marg of the Sikh, the spiritual, that oneness when it comes to soul and mind. Once the Sikhi is lived by the seekers, there is no room for corruption. But what we're talking about is social corruptions. It
Hmm.
is the manipulation of powerful to the poor or to weaker. And Guru empowered us, right? The whole purpose of Sikhi was empowering the humanity. So there's no abuse from the Gurdwara or from the different religion or different society. Guru brought the balance,
Hmm.
and he showed us how to bring the balance. If that's not good enough, I don't know what it is.
Hmm. Okay, thank you. All right. So the next thing I want to ask you is, how was yog, sorry, how was yog introduced to the West?
In when India got a bit of freedom, because it was forbidden by East India Company. They didn't want yoga to happen. What they try to sell and brag about it now, they have like multi-billion dollars of industry of yoga in the West. They didn't want this practice to happen. It was very much suppressed. And so those people who were a little bit, somehow in touch with things, uh, sooner British left India, there was not much to do. There was a collision between Pakistan and India. Back to back, India was going into wars. So in 60s, when people started migrating outside of India, some of those people also thought it is good to just forget and move on. And some thought, to hell with it. They looted us for all the time. I'm going to rip them apart and teach them nothing but take everything from them. And they came with a vengeance and the hatred. And some who had some information, they said, oh, it's gonna run my bread and butter. I'm better off here than being in India. So they started setting up things. So in 60s, when hippie movement was going on, the drug and its influence, and people didn't know. Everybody was lost. They were looking for some connection, some community, some way to connect them to something. So this was a perfect opportunity for these people. So they came in. The yoga came into the West. I mean, probably it was here even before, but it became a very popular in those days, and the fashion came in to have a guru, yoga guru, and the yoga became a fashion for the elite people, and this is how West got it. And those people set up their programs and wanted to have monopoly, and they pushed their students out there to create that pyramid program.
Mm-hmm.
One thing led to another, and now we have a situation in our hands, and it seems like not many people are happy about this.
Right. Do you think that the West is accurately representing what yoga is in the East?
At all not. Mean at all not. It's it's still the culture is there. There is a spirituality of uh, color. You will see imbalanced. Not many colored people you will see in a yogic system, um, and plus it is a one-sided of information. Half the coin doesn't work, have no worth. So having little bit something, and having a teacher training certificate, and then pushing that, um, yes, of course, anything and something will help people, but joke is not about, that's not the sutra. That the purpose of yoga is giving you everything, all the power. Either you have it, either you don't.
Hmm. And why do you think that you just mentioned that there's not enough brown people who are in the Western space of yoga? Why is that?
There's two reasons. Reason number one is they can't be bothered to bring this change. They don't want to educate. They don't want to go and hit their head against a brick wall. That these people have already made their mind that this is what right is. This is, we know what it is, and don't come and tell us what is wrong or right.
So, who are the
You know,
people who think that?
you know, I every single day now. You're talking like a journalist, so um, um, every day, 365 days of my year, I meet a lot of people who either have yoga centers or they practice some sort of yoga. And the insecurity is a sky high. It's a business model, and they want to protect. They want to protect their center. They want to protect their community. There's nothing to do with the yoga. It's a very well designed business model which will make you okay. And if you're a little bit exceptional and a good network, rich, or if you are very good with your networking skills, mega rich. So it is just a business. There's nothing joke in it.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I will say basic thing. Otherwise, you will never call it mantra, or otherwise you will never pronounce it yoga. If you can't even pronounce the damn name of it, if you can't, if you have a problem, if you even haven't learned the name and it's nod properly, if you can't even call it jog or yog, if you can't pronounce mantra, and you have to say mantra, if you didn't even learn the what tantra is all about, what is a yantra, and how jantra or yantra, how to utilize that. Hey, we're talking about very basic key points. And if all of these 4 points, jantra, tantra, mantra, and yog, if these 4 words can't be pronounced properly in a West, what sort of, you know, if one cannot even pronounce the name, forget about the practice of yoga.
Hmm.
And the hideous thing is just here, nobody even want to learn. People just want to print some money or name and move on. People not serious. People at all not serious. What I've seen uh, today, people were in a line which was a couple of 100 meters a long line. Nobody has the masks. People don't care about them, and they're not gonna care about the community around. So this laziness, this very selfish approach is destroying humanity.
Hmm. How do you feel about people who don't have a Sikh background that wear turbans?
What is a Sikh and what is a turban? The both one person who want to call him or herself Sikh first must understand what Sikh is, and then why turban is important. Turban is not a piece of cloth on your head. Have a purpose, have a responsibility. It is a very important thing. And are you capable? Are you jog to hold the turban on your head? Part-time sex. You're gonna have a weed, and you're gonna, you know, uh, uh, put yourself under the influence of alcohol. You're gonna deny the gifts of the Creator. You'll go, have a cut of hair, for example. And then you wanna tie the turban, and you wanna be called a yogi. It doesn't work like this. It's very dangerous. You're not doing any favor to yourself because you didn't learn. So it is very important for one who want to be the Sikh, first need to know why and what they want to learn, and
Hmm.
why they want to become capable. Then they will learn the importance of the turban. It doesn't just come to you. It is not a fashion. You have to give your head, your ego, your lust, anger, greed, attachment, everything. You need to put it in the feet of your guru. It is not easy. I had to I had to earn it.
Hmm.
When I went to learn from one teacher, he let his dogs on me. I was about 13 or 14. I came with the torn clothes and some bites also by the dogs. It was difficult. Nobody was throwing the information.
Hmm.
And nowadays we claim it says, no, 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 you prove it to us now on the internet. Give us the proof. Bring it to public. I mean, come on. It took us years and years to take a layer after layer, and you bully us, and you claim that, and you want to be abusive and say, no, 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 you prove it to us. Nobody's going to prove nothing.
Hmm.
If you are not seeking, then you're not gonna get anything. If you're seeking, everything is yours because nothing is hidden. Kartaruk doesn't hide anything from anybody. Everything, all the secrets of life, they are in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. If you really want to be yogi, if you really want to be capable, if you really want to meet the teacher, the master inside you, if you want to have 100 million% of life, perfect one, everything is in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. But you need to learn how to learn.
Hmm. To learn how to learn, I think that's an important one,
Important.
right? You have to have the right attitude. And I think that now there's a lot of entitlement when it comes to all learning spaces, whether it's yoga or Sikhi spaces, where it's now more transactional learning, like I pay you, therefore I can now demand from you any information that I wish, because that's the consumer mentality. And I think that that's a huge problem in the West. Um, in the East, we're taught differently, that you have to win your teacher's heart, you have to win the trust. And
Tell me about it.
if the teacher deems you worthy, right, then you'll receive that information. And I know that from a lot of the stories that you've shared with us and a lot of the other students, as to how you had to earn this. And how do you feel in a classroom when somebody who's sitting there sits there with that entitlement, in that transactional mentality, demanding information from you? How does that make you feel?
It doesn't get anything. I mean, honestly, like I was trained by a very tough teacher. And my master, the master of my soul, Guru Nanak Ji, he taught me one thing. He says, "Jo to prem khelan ka chao, sir tar tali, gali meri aao. It marg pair trijai,
Sirdij.
sir dijai, Karna ki just challenging your ego. He said, either you're fully in or you're not gonna get anything. No lesson, nothing. So I say to all of my students, Jasvir, I said the same thing to you. Teacher is like a well. If you want information from me, you're gonna have to lean forward a little bit and make an effort that you can take it. You know, you can't say, there you go, $1,000. I paid the fee. Hey, well, now bring the water into my mouth. It doesn't happen like this. It doesn't. You know, we cannot. We can carry on fooling ourselves, but the world out there, when it comes to the yoga, if you're looking for vidya, if you're looking for a bliss in life, I will humbly make a request: learn how to learn. It is very, very, very important. Harvard have
Mm-hmm.
a very different protocol than Oxford or Cambridge.
Hmm.
Yeah, every university, every school have their different protocols. It is
Right.
important you go and learn from teacher first. That what I say, people come and I meet those people too, and they want me to understand them, to teach them the way they are. It like I sometimes say this to them and they think like, first I have to study you and understand you. And in this way, if I'm working with 3,000 people, hey, can you imagine? I will not be teaching anything. So isn't it easy that you understand that this is on and this is not on with my teacher, so that you are in a speedy process. So
Right.
when we abuse a culture,
Hmm.
privilege with the
Hmm.
money, with the caste, with the name, with the color and the race and religion, privilege. We think no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, then of course, at the end we will end up losing. If you don't want to become a loser,
Hmm.
if you don't want to end up uh, your destination being disaster, only one way you can become master. Only one way. Go in natural way. Don't
Hmm.
try to force things.
Right. And I guess just for the sake of all the viewers, something that I'd like to share is that the process of unlearning here is how we operate in other spaces. Like if we entered an academic institution, right? If we went into a university, we wouldn't have this same attitude of entitlement. We would go there, be in that space, and we would do the work to get the grades. Now, if we look at our spiritual development and education with that same attitude of learning, we would get so much further because we would be able to implement critical thinking. We would be engaged. We would be more actively researching and educating ourselves, right? That's going to enhance the journey from knowledge to experience. And I think that that is the most valuable thing that we can take away from this at the moment is that let's retune, let's readjust how we learn so that we can actually understand what it means to be a Sikh, to be a learner, a seeker, a student, right? Because that's the goal is how do we develop? And I think it's important for us to understand the difference between a teacher and a guru. So
Indeed.
for me, you are my Vidya Guru. You are not my guru that I bow my head to. That is Guru Granth Sahib for me, right? So that is my spiritual guru. You are my Vidya Guru that is helping me to make that connection and to develop and excel myself.
See, so guru is still a word, right? Which takes you out of darkness. It navigates you, prepares you for
Mhm.
you to have an experience. So guru is not the ultimate word. Guru, teacher, it was called guru. Nats were called, they were called nats. Like Baba Guru in one of the Shabad, he says, Jog Jugat, Gyan Pugat, Surt Sabd Tat Bete, Jap Tap Akhandali. Ot pot mil jot, Nanak kachu, dukh na dandali. But how do you learn this? How do you bhog, or how do you live this jugat, that you are capable and you have this technique? You need to go to Guru. And Gur bin kor andhar, Guru bin samajh na aave. Baba Guru says this. So the word has to be like, again, we must come out of the phobia that we call Sri Guru Nanak Sahib Ji our Guru. That context is very different. Your Vidya Guru.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is a Satguru like Guru Nanak Sahib. Then there's a Vaheguru too, Kartapruk.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody have a different level, and a teacher, the guide, the guru, it can be mother or even your younger sister or even your own child. Whoever guides you out of an illusion or darkness. And when you're not lost anymore, we should appreciate it and come out of the phobia. Like Jog and Sikhi have no relation.
Mm-hmm.
These gurus, it's just like yoga phobia, or I will say yoga phobia,
Mm-hmm.
and same thing. The word sensitive. I use this word. People are getting word sensitive, and that is insane. I mean, our listening is crumbling, and that means our life is gonna fall apart. And we are so sensitive, gone sensitive. We freak out with some words.
Mm-hmm. That I agree with. I think that there's a hypersensitivity which comes from most of the time a lack of education. And if we just learnt and researched a little bit more, we'd be able to feel more comfortable in our own standpoint and I think have better conversations as well, right? So, could you summarize for us what is yoga from the Sikh lens and what is not yoga?
Anything which holds you back, anything which does not let you grow the wings of freedom, anything which puts you into just a fake rituals, and anything which does not enables you fully is not yoga. And yoga in Sikhi is the freedom. The yoga in Sikhi is a oneness, becoming ik onkar, becoming, you know, Satgur ki Bani, Sat Swarup hai, Gurbani Bani. And how to become Gurbani, that learning that, seeking that. Follower is not a yogi, seeker is. And we must differentiate between they both are the habits of a human nature, but one must understand that there is a purpose. This is my question. This is why I have this quest. And only then will become enable. As Guru Nanak Sahib says, it is very important for us to know that what we want. If you have a dream, just because you want to become lawyer, then only you're gonna become a lawyer, not a doctor. Because first you have to contemplate and configure your question. Only then quest can happen. Only then seeking or sikhi can happen. If we are not interested in the vichar of Guru Nanak Sahib, we're not going to become Sikhi. So I go to very first tuk I used for a Sikhi Sikhya Gur Vichar.
Hmm.
We're going to only attain that Guru's wisdom if we are looking something, if we have our question very clear. But if you're not lost, then there's nothing to be found. If you already know your answers, you don't even need your guru.
Hmm.
Then you are guru yourself, and I'm fine by it. If you want to stay whatever you are, look, I am not saying this to correct you in any way or say that you are wrong, but I'm saying have a mercy on the others. Stop imposing our ideology. Let the truth pervades itself. It will, like or not, it will pervade. It can't be suppressed. It is a momentarily a victory. What we think sometimes that we suppress something, it won't be. Especially when it comes to the vidya, the knowledge, the wisdom of the guru, it will pervade itself.
Hmm. Is Bhangra yoga, bear yoga, goat yoga, and all of these other new types of yogas like business yoga. I don't know what
You're
else.
joking, right? You're really joking.
I wish
Yeah,
I
you
was.
like you please like that's like a swearing, you know. That is very abusive and
I'm laughing
mean like
because if I wasn't laughing, I'd be crying. It's actually painful to
it
see
is
these
painful indeed.
distortions, right?
Yeah. So this is abuse, and this is where Guru Nanak Sahib stood up against this nonsense. I say again, if you are either you are sensible, if you either you are able to use your senses, that you are sensible, either it's a nonsense. So you choose that goat yoga and weed. Come on, like where is the union and a connection if you're gonna walk into cuckoo land and don't even know where one hand to another is. If you want to just create a diversion and illusion, it's fine. Your life, your choice,
Hmm,
your responsibility, but don't label it sacred.
right.
Nanak ji used this name, and I will say, especially to those seekers, who's been blessed by this, help our brothers and sisters to uh, be a little bit sensitive. And this is very abusive. This is oppression
Yeah,
and misusing, somebody's
right.
somebody's gift.
This is a different level of appropriation, and I personally feel it's completely inappropriate, um, because things are being manipulated for the sake of business and commercialization and gimmickry. And yoga is a practice that comes from the East that is used, with consciousness, right? By different traditions in different ways, but in all of them, yoga is sacred. So it's only fair that that sanctity comes across into the Western Hemisphere as well in order to accurately have a good representation of what yoga could be, right? I think it's
Mhm.
still really, really diluted in the West, like so diluted. Um, the time is flying by, Yogi Ji. I'm really sorry, but I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. I hope that's okay with you.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Um, the two most important things I guess I want to ask you is that there are, as we said, different practices of yoga that exist. A lot of stories have been given to people, and without historic relevance, it's difficult to know which ones are true and which ones are not. Baba Siri Chand, who was the son of Guru Nanak, is now almost worshipped and revered in some spaces of yoga, to be a great master of that and competing with the teachings of Guru Nanak. Can you give us some context on this and some clarification?
Ba- Baba Sri Chand ji was the son of Guru Nanak Sahib. That was it. So was Datu ji and Dasu ji.
Hmm.
But we are talking about Sikhi and Gurmat. And then after Guru Nanak Sahib, what is the relevance to the seekers of this marg, this path, this panth is Guru Angad Sahib. Guru Nanak Sahib, while living, um, he gave this command to Guru Angad Sahib, Bhai Lena ji, to be the Guru. Now, that doesn't mean that he disowned his children or whatever. They were doing an incredible job, but how history puts them is not very nice. He was given assignments to go help and bring these people who are amazing people and have these gifts and build this bridge for them to come back to the world and help them. I remember Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji's one of the Sakhi that Baba Siri Chand Ji asked Guru Hargobind Sahib to uh, to have some aid, to have some help from his uh, his house to support Baba Siri Chand's work. And Guru Sahib appointed Baba Gurditta ji um, to help Baba Sri Chand. And Saki says nobody's seen Baba Sri Chand after that. And Baba Gurditta ji, whose son is our Guru, seventh Guru, Guru Har Rai Sahib. So Gurmat never seen these Gursikhs, these amazing personalities separate. There is no need for us to create a separate uh, sects. You know, Udasis, Guru Sahib did Udasis. It's not the Udasi tradition started by Baba Sri Chand. Udasi is that the journey Guru Nanak Sahib made. Those are making us able and capable with those journeys within us. Those who will educate us with the Santya and the Naad and the Kirtan and the programming of it. Who will make us a true yogis. You know, a true yogi who will learn and respect the practice. And Udasis used to make us that. But somehow, again, British wanted to do things, and they did things very amazingly. They will take Bhai Balaji out, or they will create Baba Sri Chand, uh, no less than a parallel to Guru Angad Sahib. But if you look into Bhai Gurdasi, there is no collision between Baba Sri Chand and the Guru's house. He comes and visit Guru Ramdas ji. He comes visit Guru Hargobind Sahib ji. He's been given a lot of help from the house as he makes Baba Gurditta ji a chief of this mission that he will help those people to come back into society. Baba Gurditta ji's son, Guru Har Rai Sahib, became the seventh Guru. So Baba Sri Chand is not separate. He never practiced anything out of Gurmat. And it's all made up stuff, you know. The jog of Gurmat, the Sahaj jog. But it is not just a personal achievement which was respected in the eyes of Guru Nanak Sahib. He wanted more. And he got that from Bhai Lehna ji, who became Guru Angad Sahib. Basically, we respect Baba Sri Chand ji because Baba Sri Chand ji is the son of Guru Nanak Sahib. In Gurmat, he's like every other Gursikh, like Bhai Gurdas ji, Baba Deep Singh ji, all of these, Baba Mati Das ji, Shaheed Bhai Sati Das ji, all of these Gursikhs, incredible personalities, same as Baba Sri Chand. But Baba Sri Chand is not a separate, how it's been shown a parallel religion created against the house or in a parallel to the Sikh program. That is a very colonial labeling and distorted history of the Sikhs.
So if people are painting, and I don't mean like an actual picture, but I just mean if they're depicting Baba Sri Chand to be parallel to Guru Nanak, you think that that's correct representation?
This is what British were trying to do to control us. If those people are trying to do the exactly same thing, they're doing exactly same thing. They have something. They want to still maneuver this community out of the context and creating illusions. These illusions will create divisions. So the same thing is happening. So it's a manipulation.
So
That's
for
all
me,
what it is.
my perspective on this is using Gurbani as reference, that there's no Bani, there's no Shabads that are written by Baba Sri Chand, right?
Indeed.
Therefore, that automatically like drops him down a level. He can't be at the same level as Guru Nanak for me, because I'm following the teachings of Guru Granth Sahib, and if that's
But
what is
same time, Jasvir Kaurji, Guru Hargobind Sahib Maharaj, Guru Har Rai Sahib Maharaj, Guru Har Krishan Sahib Maharaj didn't write any Bani either. But remember this jot, this handing over the baton from one hand to another by the gurus. It is a guru who's endorsing who is next in command. And Guru
right?
Nanak Sahib did not endorse Baba Sri Chand ji in that way. So Baba Sri Chand ji is important as the child of Guru Nanak Sahib. Yes, we respect that, and nothing against Baba Sri Chand ji. But I I never came across in the practices in the yogic system. I spent a lot of time with Udasis and Nirmalas that it was ever going against the house of Guru Nanak Sahib. It was never anti or parallel or separate power. It was
So,
all bringing Gurmat forward.
so what about now when there are being separate streams created that follow in the lineage apparently of Baba Siri Chand?
That's British did it, and
But they
and
might have
still,
planted the seeds. So I understand they may have planted the seeds, but we're perpetuating that tradition as well. So what do we need to do to correct that?
I think it was like I wasn't born with this. I had to look into it, educate ourselves, and before like with closed eyes, learn properly, learn to see. As I said, if you know what you want, you'll find it.
Hmm.
If it is, you know, I can see we are gone way above the given
Don't
time.
look at
So
the time.
uh,
Don't look at the time.
yeah, the problem, Jasvir, is a very big problem. Is that the Baba Guru Nanak Sahib says, "Manne ki gat kahi na jaye, je ko kahe piche pachtaye." But we took manne as a literary word.
Hmm.
But manne comes as an experience. Manne is not just belief or trust, but we trust that this book have written this, or this person said this, and this person is right. This person is the master. This person is the, you know, everything this person says. And that blind faith is always a problem.
Hmm.
Once you know that you know,
Mm-hmm.
then there is nothing to know. Then that's end. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to know more, as Nanakji says, come,
Hmm.
let's walk the walk. Let's not just hear me,
Hmm.
what I'm saying. Let's experience. Let
Right.
me show you what actually the real health is, what
Hmm.
mental health is, what spiritual attainment is all about. Let me show you and experience that. So, in this practice of yoga, context and reference is
Hmm.
important in the practice of yoga. If you take Guru Nanak out of context, like Ernest Trump is trying to do, and Baba Siri Chand, as British, is trying to, paint him a separate
Hmm.
personality, and if you believe that, and don't go beyond, where it comes from, what the source says, and you're not interested,
Hmm.
you are in there for your 2p of gain, that okay, I want to send a curse to this person, so I will do this, or I want to get a wealth, so I will chant this mantra. Oh well, I've been having uh, um, heart issues, so I will do this mantra, or there's a dispute in family, I'll do this mantra or do this bani. Then that means we never even went into Sangat of Guru. What is Guru? Guru is trying to teach us, bring us out of illusions. We have taken Guru Granth Sahib, Guru's Bani, Sikh Gurus out of the context and a reference of importance. That what was important in which angle, what was the purpose, and therefore there is not a practice of seeking. This is mere following and will lead you in a no leadership. No leadership. Follower is a follower forever. You
Right.
need to be seeker from becoming Lena to Guru Angad Sahib. Choice is yours. It's a fine by me.
That's beautiful. That you need to be a seeker to learn, right? And I think to take the first step, we have to step out of our ego. Everything that we think we might know isn't a full stop. We have to go beyond that. We have to go back to the roots of our gurus, pre colonization, to actually understand who we are and who we're meant to be. If we want to have the title Sikh, if we want to have that label and say that this is what we belong to, we have to be willing to do the work, step out of our entitlement, and actually do the uncomfortable work, the things that make us feel that, okay, this is challenging, this goes against my values, or, I don't know if I agree with this. That's all the good stuff. That's what you want to be feeling. So that's what we all need to be doing. Yogi ji, the most, I guess, important part of everything that I want to know from you is, it's actually a couple of things. I think this is going to go on for a long time. I'm going to try to be as quick as I can. So what is Nad Yog? And is it written in Gurbani?
Yes, Gurumukhi, from the sound from the Guru's mouth as it was pronounced. If Guru was happy, then how did he say that? He writes everything. I used this tuk again and again. Um, when Guru Baba writes, Sabd Guru Surt Tun Chela. That is all about Nadyog. Gurmukh Nadam, Gurmukh Vedam. All of these shabad about the Guru's mouth, the sound current, the nad, the twani, the wisdom Guru is speaking about, and how, what he's saying, and why. That is when we become capable to communicate with the Guru, with ourselves, with our soul, when we are able to listen to ourselves and then compose in appropriation what we need in a context, in the Guru's guidance. That is what Nath Yoga is. And it is written, of course, from the ninth after the Japji. Even in Japji, Guru started teaching with Gaviye and Suniye. Gurmukhanadam, Gurmukhavedam, all of these things, Guru is pointing toward only one thing, is Nath. And then he comes.
So what is
He
Nad?
many times.
Interrupt you. I'm so sorry. What is Nad? What is the definition of it?
Nad is the sound which we feel through either we say, express it, or we hear it. When our emotions are given a sound, that is called nad, right? So even I clap, it is a sound, right? If I clap, there is a sound. But what if I clap with anger? Or what if I clap with love? There's a two different sound. To be able to listen and to be able to produce that is a jog. You are able, you can unite your emotions and the expression of it. That's what kirtan is. That's why Guru on the title writes rag. It is very important for us to understand complete. Guru never wrote it, who do whatever you do. You are uh, American, you are British, so you probably will not have access to this. It will be difficult for you, so you do whatever. It's not written like that. Guru said, if you want to do it, if you want to have a distinction in your life, in this opportunity, this is the code. So he writes there on top, like Asa. That is a nad. The Gurumukhi, as Guru experienced that sound between Guru and Kartapurukh, he is sharing that with us, and we cannot alter that. That is a mantra, that is a solution. The rag is the tantra, the technique to experience that solution. Your voice, your ear is a yantra, is a tool. Your body, your life, your psyche is the tool. Use and become capable. Yoga. As a Sikh, you're learning that how to be one with the one.
That's a very, very
So
beautiful definition.
nad is a sound. That's it. And nad is used for us to listen to anhad, because it is anhad which gives a birth to emotions. It is emotion which gives a birth to feelings. It is a feeling which we feel through the sound, and we call it nad. And from nad we create the moods. That what is our mind experience, so we can enter the spiritual realm and we can create that union. You call the yoga as a union, I will say, okay, a union between body, mind, soul, and Karta Purukh, so that Ik Onkar can
Hmm.
happen. Oneness can happen.
What were the techniques that Guru Nanak gave to us to experience that yoga?
The first technique was being reality, Satnam, true to yourself. Don't be fake. If you are fake, you're not going to make it. Guru says natural discipline, natural discipline. Difference between Hatha Yoga, difference between Patanjali's system, difference between I Panthi or the Naths and the yogis before Guru Nanak was that they they were in discipline. They wanted some things to happen in a particular manner and time, which is fine. But Nanak ji says, what about nature's discipline? What about natural discipline? Why do you have to endorse these things? Why don't they come from within? That means you haven't fallen in love with life, in with the reality that you still have to have a reminder that you need to be in a meditation, so you must tie up your hair to the branch of a tree so you don't fall asleep. What sort of love is that? That's not love, that's a nonsense. You're performing under fear. So Nanak ji says, let me make you fall in love. Let me show you what is a health, the true health. What is a true wealth? Let me bring you out of poverty. Being poor means nothing. That doesn't make you yogi, leaving, skipping meals. My teacher used to say to me, hey, Surinder Singh, if you don't know how to digest the food, get out of my class. Because what did you learn? You're not even capable. I've been trying to make you capable. So, like taking a fast because I need a cleansing. Cleansing from what? You need to cleanse your thoughts, Nanak ji says. That's where real ailment is from. And he says, let me share that with you. And his jog is, this is where he's a different from the physical discipline, the man-made discipline. He goes toward nature's discipline. Therefore, you will see Sikhs with uncut hair. This is how we are made. This is who we are. And it's okay. We accept. Why am I going to fight with nature? If nature have given me beard, it didn't give me beard on nails, or there's no hair on my teeth. There is a purpose behind it. So why do I go against the purpose of a creator and then I want to find the creator? And
Right.
I say, oh, let me find the ganja to put my focus there. There's no joke. This is all illusion.
Right. Um, you're talking about rag, and I want to like tie a few things together. You talked about Ernest Trump and the translation of Guru Granth Sahib. So if this is new information for people who are listening and watching, please go and research these names. Find out what we're talking about if you haven't got the full picture. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a brief. That there was somebody by the name of Ernest Trump who was hired by the British to translate the Guru Granth Sahib into English. And what he did was translate from Punjabi into English. And in our conversation earlier, if you were listening, you'll know that the whole of the Guru Granth Sahib is written in Gurmukhi, which is not a language, it's a script. So it's a combination of different languages and it creates a sound current, which is what we're just learning now. It creates nad. And Gurmukhi literally means from the mouth of the Guru. So to have that experience and connection with Gurbani, there were techniques that the Gurus put in place in the Guru Granth Sahib. And one important technique, actually, there's several, but one important one that Yogi ji mentioned earlier was the separation of the words. So originally, how the script was written is that between words, there were no spaces. So imagine reading a book without any spaces. All of the words are together. You have to figure out where to break the word, where to pause, where the comma is, and what the meaning of the word is. And if you
And
break it at
and
the wrong place, then it means something else, right?
and you need to have an amazing focus, and that's the whole purpose.
Yes.
See, putting the words together, he could have put it separate. When he was writing, he could have separated, he put it together because he wanted your focus to be an amazing one. So, rag, as you use this word, just rag is an emotional grammar to the shabd.
Mm.
Rag makes Guru's shabd mantra a solution. So we cannot separate the title and have this, rest of it, because if it is Turki Bani, if it came from the Kartapuruk, then it came together. It came as it is, leaving one Sihari, Bihari, Onkar, Kanna, Dulankar word or sound separate and rag separate, kar separate. If we don't want to learn, people say, oh well, I don't know about the rags and this, that, then go learn. It's
Yeah,
important, right?
that's the simple answer. Yeah, if you don't know, go and
Yeah, people say, they're not bothered. They say, oh, all you need is love.
learn.
you know but I read, I was at the airport and somebody was wearing the t-shirt, and on the t-shirt it was written, the love doesn't pay your bills. And I said, exactly, that's very right. The only love is not enough.
Hmm.
We created this word love, such a scapegoat, and it is, we put it out of context,
Hmm.
and we created such a horrible thing out of it. Love is a sacred thing. Love is not easy. And Nanak ji, it took Guru Sahib 239 years to teach us how to be in love.
Hmm.
And we just say love is a fine. I don't want to learn from Nanak ji. Whatever he wrote is a fine, it's okay. Uh, you know, um, I met somebody in India. He came to me and he said, you are talking about Nanak Ji's Rabab. Is that what you're talking about is important, or the Rabab plays within? I didn't even understand what he's trying to say. What was the reason Guru Nanak Ji created Rabab? For us, right?
Hmm.
For us, so that we can write our destiny. He was in anyway. He was the chosen, selected. He was done. He only went through all of this for us. He became Guru to teach, give us the light,
Hmm.
navigate our life. He gave us a Rabab, was a yantra, a tool, a pen for us to write our story, our
Hmm.
script. And then he gave a rag, emotional punctuation, so that we can experience, not just to hear and learn and understand the meaning, but experience what he is talking about this in this shabd.
Hmm.
But we want to convert the shabd into Punjabi, and then we don't understand, then we want to put it into a translation of mistranslated, manipulated, a very churchified, sins, oh Lord, oh this, and of creating that fear, where Guru is freeing you from
Hmm.
the fear. But the whole concept under the tutelage of Sikhism, the colonial system had created a phobia. If you want to free humanity, if your purpose of these interviews just here is to share the smile amongst the humans, then free yoga from, you have to take a colonial pin out of it.
Right.
We need to move away from cultural appropriation into a culture appreciation,
Hmm.
you know but that's a hard thing, that needs hard work, that needs love and understanding, which we are not willing to give.
Hmm.
And then outcome is like, you and me spoken nearly 2.5 hours, and we can carry on for 2 and 3 days, and still we're not going to get anywhere. But will this change? Again, I say Guru's Shabad again, Galli Jog na hoy. It's a time to put the words aside.
Hmm.
It's a time for us to walk the walk.
For action.
Look, don't make Baba Siri Chand the scapegoat. Don't make your turban is ID card. Your life, what matters in the eyes of Nanak Ji. If Nanak Ji fails you, it doesn't really matter. I give you a distinction, or Jasvir gives you gold medal. What difference does that make if Nanak Ji failed you? So you need to set your goal. Who is your hero? Who are you trying to convince? Nanak ji,
Hmm.
Rab ji, the Akal Purukh. If you trying to impress your soul and mind, then you need to become Jog.
Hmm.
You need to become capable and make sure you're on the right path under the right instructions of the Guru. You must study every single thing.
Hmm.
Gurumukhi, the way it came from Karta Purukh to Nanak ji, from Nanak ji to us.
Hmm.
So it is important for you to understand what and why Rabab, what is Asa and why is Asa and how does it help me in my life? What's in it for me?
Right.
Make it relevant to yourself.
Hmm.
And therefore, Jasvirji, you need to love yourself, right?
Right.
You need to do hard work and hard work. You need to have an understanding, hey, I don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
There is more for me to grow. Just that much will
Hmm.
free us from hatred and fears.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if hukm hai andar sabko. If everything is a hukum, if Guru created everything, Hindus created by whom?
Guru.
And Muslim created by and
Hmm.
if you're gonna hate, try to hate Pir Buddhu Shah, Ghani Khan, Nabi Khan. Try to hate Baba Mardana ji, Sai
Hmm.
Mia Mir. You know, try to hate Moti Mehra and other Sikhs. You won't be able to. So take the veil of illusion down
Right.
and and appreciate this culture of
Hmm.
love created by Sikh gurus. You know, for a moment, forget you are white or you are brown or you are black. For a moment, forget you are rich or poor. For a moment, you forget who you are. Just for a moment, try to become a human. For a moment, just let go that what you know. For a moment, just focus into one thing, that there isn't more for me to gain. If your heart is hurting, if you still suffering from migraine, if there is still a little belly popping out, if you still don't feel fit, if you still feel worried and stressed, there is more to do. And Nanak Ji can free you from this. I'm here to share. Of course, this is why we're trying to do this. This is Sangat. We're born to share. As Jasvir said earlier, I do believe, because this is how my teacher told me, whatever is not shared is lost. But why do we have to create an empire on this? I didn't build this. It's Nanak Ji's. It belongs to Guru Nanak Ji. So I cannot change it. So I will say a teacher's training program as taught by Guru Nanak Sahib. This is about Gurmat Yoga. This is about Nad. And we becoming capable to not just listen to Nanak Ji's sound, but match our with it and express that what we are feeling and sing along with Guru Nanak Sahib, Guru Arjan Sahib, Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj, that Bani, and and become that what Guru were trying to, like when Jasvir came to me to learn, I wanted her to become really good. You think what Guru Nanak Ji wants you to be a second class citizen? No, he wants you to be the best of the best. Just look from that angle. He's not talking about Lord. He's talking about you, talking about your mind throughout, from very first to very last word he wrote in Sri Guru Granth Sahib. He's talking about you. He's talking about us humans living our life to the max. Don't you want to do this? You know how to have physical life free from an ailment? I learned that. Was not easy. It's not so simple. I'm not saying it's going to be just click of the fingers. It requires a hard work. But the most difficult thing is cultural appreciation. I was born in Punjab and I respect the culture. But when I came to England, I respect the culture here, but don't try to impose my culture on the culture of England. I don't. that will be insulting the values and feelings. And we keep cultures away, and we need to create more tolerance amongst us for us to learn. We need to become a little bit like going to the well and taking that nectar out, a life in the bucket for us. When we need to lean forward, we need to bend ourselves. Only then we can take something out. And we need to do the exactly same thing. I will say again, if you already know, then I rest my case because there's nothing else to be known. But if you have a little bit more, hey, we as brothers and sisters, as a human beings, as a family, because manas ki jaat sab hai ek hai, pehchan bo. Forget you're white, forget you have privilege, forget about what you know and you don't. Come out of your comfort zone. It is easy and simple, but the most difficult thing has to be done by you. That cultural appreciation. If we let Indians to be Indians and we don't try to become one, because we can't be. If God have sent us in America, then it's okay to be American. Be okay with that. But becoming yoga American, becoming capable humans, becoming capable British, becoming capable human beings and responsible citizens of planet Earth. That is important. That is very important. And that's the only thing I want to say. It is important for us to do this sort of hard work. I hope you agree, Jasvir.
I definitely agree. I need to ask you something else. I know that it's really late, and I know you have. This is like
Look, whoever,
important.
I
Sorry,
think they can,
lost you then. Sorry.
I think whoever, tolerated us for 2.5 hours can tolerate us for
Yeah.
another 15 minutes. I hope so.
I want to
So,
thank everybody for tuning in and for watching and supporting us, because this is great. I'm really enjoying the conversation. The thing that I want to ask you is
I'm going to change my headphone
okay.
also. So,
hmm Okay, so I'm going to ask you in the
so
meantime.
fire.
So, okay, I'm going to recap some of the things that we just picked up from Yogi Ji there. So we've got some good takeaways. And it tunes in with some of the questions that are rolling in the comments as well. Somebody asked how to connect with Gurbani. And I think that we already received the answer that if we are seeking and we are on the path of trying to gain knowledge, which is different to the path of following, where we feel entitled to demanding knowledge. They're two different journeys, two different paths. So, first, it's important for us to figure out which one we stand on. That do we want to be on the path of a seeker, or do we want to be on the path of a follower? And it's okay to choose either of them, but be clear which one you stand on. If you're on the path of a seeker, of a Sikh, it means that you're choosing consciously to learn. That means learning in every space, with every breath, every step. We choose to be uncomfortable, which allows us to grow. And it's in that place of being uncomfortable where we're going to excel the most, because it means that we will apply critical thinking. We will look at things neutrally and look further than just the surface, because oftentimes we all know this, that whatever appears on the surface is not always the full picture. So dig deeper, look further, look from different angles, and challenge yourself to learn and to grow. Now, for the connection of Gurbani, I'm just going to summarize real quick that if we're looking from the lens of Guru Nanak, of Sikhi, that came pre-colonization, the protocol was different. Gurbani in the Guru Granth Sahib was written without spaces. This is called Larivar. Okay, if you don't know what this means, go and look it up. If you read your Nitnem and do your daily part, I encourage you, there's a lot of the apps now that you can use which allow you to view the Gurmukhi in Larivar. So try to read your Japji or Chaupai Sahib or whichever part you do read it in Larivar and feel the difference. It's going to be harder. It's going to be more challenging. It's going to be so uncomfortable because you're going to find that if you look away for a second or if your focus just breaks for that one moment, you're going to forget where you were. It's not the same as just doing something in as a habit. It means you have to be in. We're also being made aware that Gurmukhi, every single sound, every letter, syllable matters. So we can't mince the words. We can't just like muddle them up and make them sound like something else. We have to say exactly what's there. Additionally, we found out that there's rag, which is the emotional context given onto every Shabad. And then we were told that there were instruments, Rabab was mentioned, instruments that were created for this technology, for this particular path of consciousness to be lived. So these are the ingredients that Guru Nanak gave to us. And this is what we have to start our journey with. And Yogiji, I want to ask you that if this is the framework that we were given to operate in, now when you look at the world of, these are all words that mean the same thing. So Kirtan, Gurmat Sangeet, Sikh music, Naad Yoga, all mean the same thing. It means the singing of Gurbani from the Guru Granth Sahib for us to achieve consciousness and oneness with ourselves, to manage our emotions and be better human beings, right? That's the purpose of Gita, right? If I'm just like summarizing it and condensing it
Okay.
down.
Yes. Yes. Easy.
So my question to you is that how do you feel when you look at the global face of Kirtan and Sikh music as it stands now, which is more commercialized, which is like for me horrifying. I have heard rap Kirtan, dub remixes of Kirtan, Michael Jackson tunes on Kirtan. I have heard like lots of Punjabi song tunes on Kirtan. And when I say Kirtan, I mean on Shabad. So the words of Gurbani taken and put to these other musical melodies. I have a particular way that I feel about it, but the question is to you is how does this make you feel?
I feel sorry for, they're so close and so far. Like, I'm I'm nobody to say this is wrong or this is right. For me, I only can speak by myself that Guru Sahib written this like this. Therefore, when I went for Santhya in learning from Vidya Guru, I went for Santhya, and it was like, my first question was why there is a Shabd, Asa Mahalla Panjwa, Saranjam Lag Pavjal Taran Ke, and teacher stopped. He said, no, say with me, Asa Mahalla Panjwa, Saranjam Lag Pavjal Taran Ke, Janam Vritha Jat Rang Maya Ke. I said, well, I didn't mean to learn singing. He said, no, it's not singing. This is how Guru wrote it. And I was confused. And he said, the Guru wrote it like, Pasakh tiran kyo vatiya. This is a sound current. And I was like struck by this. Like I was glued to this concept. Amazing. And more every day I went into deeper. It was like, me taking a half a cup out of an ocean and saying, wow, look how much I got it. It was just amazing. So I'm saying we need to learn that way. But I also see people with guitars and sitars and harmoniums. Look, I'm not here to say that they are wrong. I'm not saying there is not a room for these things, but we also need to understand at the same time that why Guru Nanak Sahib created the Rabab, why Guru Arjan Sahib created Saranda, why Satta and Balwan created Jodi, why there was a use of Sarangi in Guru Hargobind Sahib Maharaj's court, Why there was Taus and Dilruba created by Guru Gobind Singh? Why couldn't they just import guitars and pianos and other things from, or whatever was available? Why didn't they use the veena, for example, which existed in so many different types of veenas in ancient India? There must be a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I respect the music. In it comes in from different tradition and cultures, from expression. And when we're talking about sound, it doesn't have a culture. Its culture is humanity. So I'm not saying that the pop, rock, jazz, and all of those things are wrong, but they have their place.
Hmm.
You know, when we are talking about Bani, Gurbani, then as a seeker, as a Sikh, we must understand what is Asa, how it works, why it is there, what's in it for me, how should I live it.
Hmm.
So it's not just a musical melody put together. It is more than it's tapping into your emotional state, your behavior pattern. It's a hooking your mind and bringing it into the sangat with the soul and body. It's an amazing jugat, mean technique, mean tantra. If you want to be yogi, if you truly seeking, if you want to learn the kirtan, then do a guru's way. Pick
Hmm.
up guru's instrument and see the magic. How quickly guru will transform your emotional, your psychological, your mental, your spiritual behavior, and will give you a guru prasad of oneness. Just try it.
Hmm. That's a lovely way to share it. Thank you. Um, for those people that are new to all of this information, there are very specific techniques that relate to Sikh music. And if you want to learn about it, Yogi Ji has made a wonderful documentary called Sikh Musical Heritage, The Untold Story. It's available on Vimeo on demand, and we're going to share the link. So if any of you want to learn more about these instruments and this particular technology, then please go and check out the documentary. That'll give you a lot of context and help you with some of the unlearning and new learning that we all need to be doing. Yogiji also teaches. You can reach out to him at info@yogiofsound.com or hello@rajacademy.com if you want to learn how to practice these techniques and understand how to adopt them into your life. Yogiji, we could go on and on and on because I've got a ton more questions, but I think that it's heading close to midnight for you and me also because we're in England. And that maybe we should wrap it up. Unless
There's
you could.
always next time.
Exactly.
That's I appreciate this your love, and you want to share with Sangat. And of course, it's nothing which I shared is mine. I was given a lot of things by my teachers and Sangat and Guru Sahib, of course. It's a Guru Prasad. And we're doing this all for you to be part of this Sangat and learn. It's no point for us to be suffering, because Guru Sahib says, Suniye दुख पाप का नाश और गाविए सुनिए मन रखिए पाहो दुख पर हर सुख कर ले जाए. Guru gives us the mantra solution. All we need to do is use that to be free from the pain, from the mental health issues, from physical problems, and attain what a spiritual experience of bliss and be one. So yes, we will carry on, and next time we'll talk about it. There are some sensitive issues. There are some issues very problematic. There are
Mhm.
cultural issues. There are things completely gone like haywire. But it's okay. It's okay, as I'm not afraid. I think um, the protector is the Kartapurukh.
Mhm.
So the wrong will stay wrong and right will stay right. And our job is to do whatever we can do the best. And if you think you're doing whatever the things you're doing and they don't match us, that's fine. I respect that. Do it consciously, do it with fully, do it with smile. If it is, one of my friend Jasvir, I must share this with
Hmm.
you. He was, he's a good, very close person to me, and he said to me, Yogi, you should try marijuana. I said, but for what? He said, I feel so connected. I said, but I am already connected. I'm not looking for another connection. He said, but well, you must try. I said, why don't you try my stuff? He said, yeah. I said, the thing is, remember, what are you trying? You're going to have to try that again after a few hours, right? He said, yes. I said, what I'm trying, it doesn't go, it doesn't disappear. You're in forever. So I'll say to all of you, okay, try once. Try Guru's word, Guru's way, with the Guru's instrument. Try once. Let go. All of other things, try Guru's Kirtan, Guru's way one time. And if it doesn't transform you, I'll leave this. All of whatever I'm talking about, I will never come back to social media. Guru is amazing. Guru is incredible. Guru is so beautiful. It doesn't changes you. It changes all inside you. You become the beacon. You become the lighthouse. He transforms by just putting back us to nature. So we don't really have to change anything. We just have to reset ourselves to nature's default. That's all. That's Nanakji's way. And let's become yoga capable, the yogi of Nanakji.
Yogi ji, this has been such a gift, such a blessing, and I think for a lot of us, it's new information, and there's a lot of appreciation and love in the comments as well. Um, I've learned a lot of new things as well, and I think that's important for all of us to acknowledge that when we're receiving
Me
new
too.
information.
Thank you. Thank you.
um, just to wrap up for everybody, I want to just emphasize on the key points that the path of Guru Nanak's Yoga requires us to choose consciousness, to do the hard work as well as the heart work, right? Which means being uncomfortable, recognizing when we have to undo things to create better mechanisms. And I think that that's a collective responsibility that, yes, colonialism played its role. If we can identify that, we also have to see that what is our responsibility now in this space and what work do we have to do to correct that. There is a responsibility that lies on us individually. That's what I feel, and that we have the capacity to make these improvements and make this change if we're willing to educate ourselves. So I'm encouraging and calling everybody who's listening, who's watching, to step up and start a journey of seeking and of learning. And your first step, go and educate yourself about what Sikh musical heritage actually is. Because if this is the technology, these are the tools and the techniques that Guru Nanak Sahib gave to us, and we don't know about them, that's where we have to start. The link is in the comments. Please go and watch the documentary and get in touch with Yogi Ji after you've watched the documentary. If you've got questions, right? This is how we share Sangat. This is how we share information. And Yogi Ji, you have imparted so many pearls of wisdom onto us today. And honestly, we could keep you here the whole night. I know that I'm ready to keep going for another 3 hours, but
Waheguru.
thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart and from everybody who's watching. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for everybody who's watching, for tuning in. And we're going to need you back on the show.
Definitely. And I appreciate the Core Voices, and I appreciate you doing all of this work, and SikhNet also accommodating all of this. Um, my humble request is that we all trying to do the best for ourselves, our families, our world. And therefore, it is just a few things I'm just going to say very quickly. A true yogi, Nanak's yogi, a seeker, a Sikh. A true yogi will learn and respect the practice. Remember this. Will not change, will not come in the way of Nanakji's when you want to learn from somebody, but you want to learn the way you want to learn, you will change everything. So let's not do that with when it comes to the sacred practices of which makes us capable a yogi. Context and reference is important to the practice of yoga. It is very the out of context is is a horrible stuff. So understand that why you're doing this and how you need to do before you start doing it and label yourself. And the third and last thing for this meeting, I would like to share with you that we need to move away. Please, we hear me out. We need to move away from cultural appropriation, and it requires you to have the consciousness and walk into the cultural appreciation. Build this harmony. It is important. This is how Sangat is built. If we go there rich and poor and divided in castes and creeds and religions, we will not have a Sangat. So we need to build the cultural appreciation. And I understand that it is hard work, very hard work. It will require, it will take understanding. But most of all, it needs a love for ourselves and for our world. And I hope all of you seekers, born, brought up, living in America, North America, or South America, or in Asia, wherever you are, India or Europe, we all humans, we need to act now with responsibility, a very responsible citizens of planet Earth. There is nothing secret, there's nothing hidden. Everything is available. We just need to open our eyes. So I'm here to share. So is my team. And there is a lot of Sangat here with wisdom. As I learn with every step I take, I think it's important for us to share that. And I once again will share this with you that I believe that whatever is not shared is lost. So let's equip ourselves with information and true information. Don't just believe things you read and see. Try to go deeper until you find the reality. Don't stop. Don't stop. Carry on your search and find that gem. We are part of your Sangat. We are part of your journey. Wherever you are, we are just an email or a message away. And we would love to be part of this journey. Let's unite as Sangat and serve Kartapurukh. That's all I want to say for our this very long meeting, nearly 3 hours. Thank you, Jasvir Kaurji, for your patience. But this has been an amazing evening.
This was a Punjabi 5 minutes, right?
Yes. The culture, remember, we come with the, like Guru Sahib taught us, "Tirtwar na jogi jaan hai, ruttamana koi." So we don't really think about the time when, let it happen normally.
Yes, yes.
Only we stop when we get hungry, and I think I'm getting a little bit hungry.
Oh, Yogi ji, really, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. This was such a joy, such a pleasure, and a huge blessing for all of us. So much for us to learn, and you did it with so much warmth and love, and for that, I'm really grateful. Thank you for setting a really beautiful example of Sikhi for us, and calling us out on the work that we need to do, because that's what Sangat is there for, right? So. Thank you for being on Core Voices. Thank you for everybody who's listening. And Yogiji, I hope you're going to be back soon.
Sure. Guru Rakha Sat Karta.
So,
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
why?
Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.